Poison is back for Street Fighter V, and here I will try to cover everything I have learned about her so far while practicing and playing a few matches. Overall, Poison seems to be a pretty good character for medium range poking, zoning, and diving at enemies relatively safe. Poison doesn't seem to have a special that can be used on wakeup. Also, the only air crossup tool she has is her low kick. Lastly, she doesn't have an overhead movement, so block your legs and you'll be fine. Alright, with no further ado, let's get started. First, we will take a look at all of her buttons on hit. I'll put all the data I gather in the video description. The only two major things I want to point out about this part is, number 1, Poison has a 3 frame, which is her jab. It is +3 on hit. And number 2, Poison's crouching fierce hits low, and it's her farthest reaching normal, so watch your legs. Now let's take a look at her buttons on block. Same information will also be available in the video description. Let's talk about her range. The low best poking option is the low kick. It can hit up to 7 squares away from the opponent. For medium buttons, crouching medium kick can hit up to 9 squares away. For fierce, crouching fierce is best with 22 squares and hits the legs. But it is very negative, so watch out. Her first special is Avant Line. Avant Line is a decent range whip attack which can deal 1 hit when using low, 2 when medium, and 3 when fierce. It is very minus on block, so I recommend using low for poking and fierce only when hit confirmed. Her second special is Heart Rate. Heart Rate is her best poking special. It goes to a different direction based on the button pressed. When low is pressed, the whip goes low. When medium is pressed, the whip goes straight. And when fierce is pressed, the whip works as an anti-air. It has about 15 squares of range and it is -6 on block, so don't use it too close to the opponent. Also, you can hold the button to play mind games with your opponent. If you let go of the button, it will unleash the attack, or you can cancel it by pressing any kick button. You can also walk back and forth while holding the attack. Getting used to cancel the whip is ideal. It will help you out to make longer combos by combining standing fierce with any medium punch button. We will talk a little more about that later on. Her third special is Shocking Heal. When Shocking Heal is used, based on the button pressed, Poison will take longer to launch the kick, and it will also have a different distance. It's the best special to punish when doing combos with any low button. It is also a good anti-air tool, especially when using the low button. It can be followed by critical art and V-trigger options, which we will talk about in a little bit. This is another special that you only want to use when hit confirming. It is -12 on block, so be very careful about when you decide to use it. Her last special move is Love Me Tender. It's a good tool to go over fireballs and grabs. The best one to use in my opinion is the medium one. It is +3 on hit, so you can follow up with a jab, which can then be followed up by another special like Shocking Heal. When used with fierce, it turns into a knockdown on hit. This might be the best tool for trying to shorten the distance between you and your opponent. Fierce is -2 on block, so you don't necessarily will be punished if you don't hit. Low and medium though are -4 on block, so be mindful when you use those randomly. Whiplash is her only unique attack. It can be used to start jumping combos, and it has good range, but it only hits when enemies standing. For EX specials, Avant line has only one version. It is minus 16 on block, so again, only use it when hit confirm. EX heart rate differs based on input. Low can be followed by shocking heal when hit. Fierce is a very good anti-air tool. It has a very quick activation time. Low is minus 2 on block, medium is plus 2 on block, which means you can attempt to frame trap your opponent after that. Every version of this special deals 2 hits, but if you try to activate V-trigger after the first hit, you will cancel the second hit. I don't think EX shocking heal is very useful. You can use it to do combos with your V skill, and that's about it. It is minus 17 on block. EX Love Me Tender also has one version. It avoids projectiles altogether, and it's a knockdown move. It is minus 2 on block. I'll let you watch all of the different options on hit strings. However, I'll mention a few important things. After medium punch, don't try to jab or crouching medium punch. You'll be out of range to do so. Crouching medium punch has limited range, but it's her best button. It's a nice meaty, and you can follow up with up to 2 more buttons if you are close enough to your opponent. When we looked at heart rate, we mentioned how you can cancel it into string buttons. Here you will be able to see how we can cancel Fierce into medium punch or crouching medium punch to maximize damage. Now we have the block strings. I'll let you watch this part also. All of the information I gather will be on the video description. If you want any more details about what stuff can be chained, you can definitely gonna be able to see that there. The V skill can go over fireballs, and it will also go over a crouching opponent. As we mentioned earlier, EX shocking heal can be followed by V skill. In my opinion, this is not a very good tool. It's too slow and gives the enemy plenty of time to react with an anti-air. The best normal for anti-airs is crouching medium punch. For specials, Shocking Heal and Fierce Heart Rate are both pretty good. For air combos, the simplest is Medium Punch followed by Fierce, but if timed right, you may be able to catch your opponent with EX specials or Critical Art before he lands. As you can see now, Critical Art is a great anti-air tool also. Can be followed after Shocking Heal, but make sure to space it right or you'll whiff it. A nice thing about Poison's range is that if she hit with her Crouching Fierce and then activate V-Trigger, you can follow up with Critical Art. Once activated, V-Trigger 1 lasts about a minute. Poison gets 2 Molotov charges which you can input in 2 different ways. Neutral for forward throw or backwards for vertical throw. You may be able to combine it with certain specials, but you'll have to be very careful about the input you use to throw it and the spacing. I believe that the best thing you can do with this V-Trigger is to use a charged and EX event line your opponent over the fire to deal some extra burning damage. V-Trigger 2 also lasts about 1 minute once activated. It gives you 3 charges that you can use to neutral throw or long distance throw your opponent based on input. The nice thing about this V-Trigger is that you can use the throws within combos. I do find this to be the best V-Trigger of both. Neutral throw has around 4.5 squares of range, and long distance throw has about 27 squares of range. If not used in a combo, none of the options will grab a jumping opponent, but it can be followed after a Shocking Heal. In order to be able to grab your opponent with the long distance throw, there will need to be a space of at least 5 squares in between. Last but not least, Crush Counter. Standing Roundhouse is Poison's only crush counter option. Even if too far from the opponent, a dash and a low button can be used after, so don't hesitate and dash in for a greater punish. And this is all I got to share for now. Please share your thoughts and knowledge. I'll be more than happy to make a second video if necessary. I hope somebody find this helpful, and of course if there's anything you didn't get, let me know and I'll try to go over it. This is Polo. See you in the next one. Bye.